Relationships are one of the most profound and complex aspects of human life. They provide us with joy, companionship, and purpose, but they can also challenge us deeply. Every relationship demands effort, understanding, and a willingness to grow together. Yet, sometimes we find ourselves at a point where we must confront difficult questions. Is this relationship healthy? Am I thriving within it, or is it causing me harm? When faced with such crossroads, it's essential to reflect on key elements that make a relationship fulfilling and sustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, relationships at their core are built on trust, mutual respect, and a shared sense of responsibility. But what happens when these foundational elements are shattered? What do we do when we find ourselves standing at a crossroads, facing the question of whether to continue or walk away? Let's quote wise words from Jordan Peterson. There are certain things that, once done, should leave no room for reconciliation. If your partner has committed these acts, it's not a matter of them making a mistake, it's a matter of them revealing a deep truth about who they are and how they see you. Trust in any relationship is the most fragile yet foundational element. It is the invisible thread that weaves two individuals together, and without it, no relationship, be it romantic, familial, or professional, can function effectively. When trust is betrayed, it shatters the very fabric that holds the connection between two people, leaving a rupture that, no matter how much you may want to repair, is exceedingly difficult, if not impossible, to fully restore. When we speak of betrayal of trust, it is important to understand that it comes in many forms. The obvious form that most people think of is infidelity. This is a direct, intentional act of betrayal, a breach of the unspoken agreement in a committed relationship that involves exclusivity. But betrayal is not limited to physical actions. It encompasses emotional infidelity, dishonesty, secrecy, and lies that undermine the bond. In fact, the emotional toll of betrayal can often be more insidious than physical acts because it eats away at the very foundation of emotional security. Betrayal of trust is a violation of the belief that your partner has your best interests at heart, that they are operating with transparency, and that they will protect the sanctity of your relationship. This trust is built over time through shared experiences, mutual understanding, and promises, spoken or unspoken, that create a safe space for both individuals to grow. But when that trust is violated, it leaves behind a fracture that cannot be ignored or simply swept under the rug with apologies or fleeting moments of remorse. What happens when trust is betrayed is that something deep inside shifts. The very lens through which we see our partner begins to distort. We begin to question their motives, their honesty, and even their love for us. The feelings of betrayal are not just emotional, they are existential. They raise questions about the nature of our reality with that person. If they could lie to us, deceive us, or act in ways that directly harm us, how can we ever believe in them again? The sense of security that once anchored us is gone, and in its place is a pervasive uncertainty that gnaws at our peace of mind. The most dangerous aspect of betrayal is that it destroys the very thing that binds a relationship: vulnerability. Relationships are built on the idea that we can be open with each other, that we can share our deepest fears, dreams, and weaknesses without fear of judgment or harm. This openness creates intimacy. It creates a closeness that transcends superficial connections. But when trust is betrayed, that vulnerability is violated. The next time we try to open up, we do so with hesitation. We guard ourselves, testing the waters to see if the person who once hurt us will hurt us again. And the truth is, that sense of guardedness lingers. It prevents us from ever fully engaging with our partner again in the way we did before the betrayal. Consider the nature of a lie. A lie is not merely an untruth, it is a deliberate misdirection, an attempt to manipulate reality for personal gain or self-preservation. When your partner lies to you, they are telling you that they do not trust you with the truth, that they see you as someone who cannot handle reality as it is. They are making the decision to deceive, to hide, and in doing so, they are positioning themselves as someone who is fundamentally at odds with the core of what a healthy relationship is supposed to be. This betrayal of trust is often accompanied by the feeling of being gaslighted, that is, being made to feel as though you are the one in the wrong, the one who is overreacting or imagining things, even when the facts are clear. Gaslighting, in its essence, is the betrayal of your ability to trust yourself, which makes the situation even more damaging. The impact of betrayal has a long-lasting ripple effect. It affects not just the relationship between the two of you but also impacts how you view others and even yourself. It shapes the way you approach future relationships, often with a hesitancy to open up to new people, to trust again. But the damage is not only emotional, it can also be psychological. The constant questioning, the nagging uncertainty, can create an environment of hypervigilance, a state where you are always on guard, constantly scanning for signs of deceit, and never able to fully relax into the relationship. When someone betrays your trust, they force you to recalibrate your entire understanding of them. They ask you to ignore the promises they made, the vows they took, and to move forward as if nothing happened. But that is an unrealistic expectation. Once trust is broken, there is no going back to the way things were. You cannot unsee the lies, the deceit, or the actions that wounded you. The past looms over the relationship like a shadow, constantly reminding you of what has been lost. Even when the person who has betrayed you expresses regret or offers an apology, the question remains, how do you ever believe in them again? Apologies are important, but they are not enough. True reconciliation requires more than just words. It requires action. It requires a consistent demonstration of change, a commitment to transparency, and a willingness to rebuild the trust that was shattered. However, even when those actions are taken, the scars of betrayal may remain hidden but always present. It's important to understand that betrayal of trust does not have to be a single act. It can be a pattern of behavior or a repeated cycle of dishonesty, manipulation, and betrayal that wears down the trust in the relationship over time. The cumulative effect of these repeated betrayals can be far more destructive than any single event. It's not just about the harm caused in the moment, it's about the cumulative erosion of the bond that once existed. Trust is sacred. It is a gift that one person gives to another, hoping that it will be honored and protected. When that trust is betrayed, it can feel as though the very essence of the relationship has been stolen. And when that happens, no matter how much you may want to forgive or forget, it is crucial to understand that sometimes trust, once broken, cannot be fully mended. And that's a hard truth to accept, but it is the reality of betrayal. Boundaries are the silent rules that govern the space between individuals. They are the lines we draw, consciously or unconsciously, to protect our emotional, physical, and psychological well-being. Boundaries tell others who we are, what we need, and what we will not tolerate. In relationships, whether romantic, familial, or professional, respecting boundaries is one of the most fundamental ways we demonstrate care, understanding, and mutual respect. When these boundaries are ignored or violated, the foundation of the relationship begins to erode. To understand the depth of boundary violations, it's crucial to first grasp what boundaries really are. They are not merely rules we set for others, they are expressions of our needs and values. Our physical boundaries are the limits of our personal space. We have emotional boundaries, which protect our feelings and mental health, and intellectual boundaries, which safeguard our ideas and beliefs. In intimate relationships, these boundaries also include the ways in which we share or withhold intimacy, the expectations around privacy, and the recognition of each other's independence and individuality. When a partner disregards these boundaries, they are telling us, either overtly or covertly, that our needs, feelings, and limits do not matter. In conclusion, when a partner repeatedly engages in behaviors that violate trust, boundaries, accountability, emotional well-being, and self-respect, it is a clear indication that the relationship is unhealthy and unsustainable. Betrayal of trust, disrespecting boundaries, lack of accountability, emotional manipulation, and repetitive toxic behavior are all signs of deep-rooted issues that rarely resolve on their own. These behaviors not only harm the individual affected but also undermine the foundation of any healthy relationship. Respect, mutual understanding, and genuine care are essential. Protecting your mental and emotional health is paramount. Sometimes, the most loving act you can offer yourself is walking away from a relationship that continuously damages your well-being. Only when both individuals are committed to personal growth and mutual respect can a relationship truly thrive. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe to our channel.